Hello everyone, Justin Vacula here with another video in my Stoic Philosophy video series titled On the Shortness of Life. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my website at justinvacula.com. Links are in the video description. My Stoic Philosophy video series explores the philosophical tradition of Stoicism with goals to inform, empower, and help others benefit from the practical wisdom of ancient Greek, Roman, and modern thinkers. I tackle many topics including handling adversity, finding meaning in life, working toward contentment, dealing with change, anger, and gratitude. I've been reading Seneca's Letters from a Stoic and have found recurring motivating themes within, namely a call to action to live a reflective, fulfilling, meaningful life. Seneca calls into question many desires, goals, and behaviors people might have through his letters addressed to his friend Lucilius, and encourages a state of vigilance, self-reflection, mindfulness. We're to pay attention to what's happening around us, work toward having a content life, reduce our fears and destructive behaviors, appreciate what we have, embodying a sense of gratitude, exercise moderation, and value virtue as the chief good in life. Let's examine some passages in Seneca's letter titled On the Shortness of Life. He starts his letter writing about how memories of people past and present can be brought to our awareness, roused by viewing certain places, and that this can elicit a feeling of grief, even though time has passed. He writes, A man is indeed lazy and careless, my dear Lucilius, if he is reminded of a friend only by seeing some landscape which stirs the memory. And yet there are times when the old familiar haunts stir up a sense of loss that has been stored away in the soul, not bringing back dead memories, but rousing them from their dormant state, just as the sight of a lost friend's favorite slave, or his cloak, or his house, renews the mourner's grief, even though it is softened by time. So, what's Seneca getting at here? Perhaps we should engage often with our close friends, and value these friendships rather than having fair-weather friends. Since change is inevitable, a common theme in Stoic works, by the way, we must know that people will die, and that our existence is short, something Seneca touches on later in this letter. We may miss people, reflect on times in months and years past. Maybe we'll think of people who have died. So why not cherish these friendships and memories by engaging often and well? Value the time together that we can spend with our friends while we are still able to do so. Perhaps people change, schedules differ, people move from location to location, priorities change, people find new jobs, people have children, people get married. Who knows what the future might bring? So value the present and the people you know now. Surely there can be barriers to communication, and face-to-face engagement can be difficult or infrequent. But with today's technology, well, interaction is much easier and faster than letters Seneca had sent in ancient times. Also be careful to use your time wisely, as Seneca mentions in other letters, and choose your friends carefully. Practice moderation, balance in life by having time to engage with friends, rather than being, say, isolated to a major extent, or working around the clock, or spending too much time in one area of life. Seneca continues in his letter. He writes, Infinitely swift is the flight of time, as those who see more clearly are looking backwards. For when we are intent on the present, we do not notice it, so gentle is the passage of time's headlong flight. Do you ask the reason for this? All past time is in the same place. It all presents the same aspect to us. It lies together. Everything slips into the same abyss. Besides, an event which is the entirety is of brief compass cannot contain long intervals. The time which we spend in living is but a point, nay, even less a point. But this point of time, infinitesimal as it is, nature has mocked it by making it seem outwardly of longer duration. She has taken one portion thereof and made it infancy, another childhood, another youth, although the gradual slope, so to speak, from youth to old age, and old age itself, is still another. How many steps for how short a climb? It was but a moment ago that I saw you on your journey, and yet this moment ago makes up a goodly share of our existence, which is so brief. We should reflect that it soon will come to an end altogether. This passage calls aging, and how fast the process seems to our awareness. Life is short, our presence in the continuum of time is exceptionally short, and moments in time continue to pass us. What should we do about this? Why is this important? Well, given that life is short and time passes quickly, we should be motivated, Seneca would likely say, to make good use of our time and not waste such an opportunity to live a good life. Be good at the art of living, as philosophers like Seneca would say, rather than squandering our time and being passive as life simply passes us by. We can think about goals, experiences we want to have, and work toward accomplishment. Why not seize the opportunity to live a worthwhile, engaged life, rather than wandering aimlessly in ignorance? Why be miserable and complain so much? Or at all, really, when we can make efforts to change our mindset, improve our quality of life, and better endure that which we cannot change, with grace. Seneca suggests philosophy as an answer on how to live life well. He thinks of philosophy as having a practical application to life, without which what good might philosophy be? The idea for the Stoics is to learn and take action. They see knowledge as having utility. Surely reflection upon the letters of Seneca can help us live a better life. Seneca continues in his letter, I am all the more angry that some men claim the major portion of this time for superfluous things, time which, no matter how carefully it is guarded, cannot suffice even for necessary things. Why do you torment yourself and lose weight over some problem which it is more clever to have scorned than to solve? What am I to do? Death is on my trail, and life is fleeting away. Teach me something with which to face these troubles. Bring it to pass that I shall cease trying to escape from death, and that life may cease to escape from me. Give me courage to meet hardships. Make me calm in the face of the unavoidable. Relax the straitened limits of time which is allotted me. Show me that the good in life does not depend upon life's length, but upon the use we make of it. Also, that it is possible, or rather usual, for a man who has lived long to have lived too little. Say to me when I lie down to sleep, you may not wake again, and when I have waked, you may not go to sleep again. Again, Seneca emphasizes that time is passing. The end of our life is approaching rapidly. The response is to make good use of our time, accept that death will occur, and not to be paralyzed by fear which can prevent us from living life, experiencing a good quality of life. Being courageous, taking action, and even inviting challenge can help us live well. Seneca notes here that someone can live a really long life, but not make good use of it, and a person can make really good use of a short life. So it should be apparent that the quality, rather than quantity of life, especially since the quantity of life can largely be outside of our control, that's the most important. Squandering time, Seneca mentions. Well, we can question what we are focusing on, think about our schedules, our priorities, and examine how worthwhile what we're doing really is. Perhaps we're not using time efficiently. Maybe we're using social media more than we planned and finding ourselves scrolling through news feeds for an hour or two while we could have done something more focused and constructive. Maybe we can eliminate or drastically reduce time watching television or YouTube videos. Maybe online dating isn't all that it's cracked up to be, and we could just stop with that. Feeling tired throughout the day and not getting enough sleep? Well, we can plan our day so that we get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and even exercise too. Not finding time for a social life? Well, how about planning ahead for a weekend, perhaps, so that you can have friends commit to a time and finish your other tasks during the weekdays. Maybe we can regain power in our lives and accomplish what we would like, rather than living a largely unstructured life and not accomplishing what we really want to do. Now, some might incorrectly view Stoics as killjoys. What about time for pleasure and leisure? Do they focus on that? Well, the Stoics advocate for balance and modesty, to not focus on pleasure as a primary good, and have this take up most of our time or be a driving factor in life. But we can still have time to relax, to travel, to rest, to engage with hobbies, and have fun, but do so in moderation, as too much of one thing can be bad for us and lead to negative consequences. We can limit many of our desires to have less worry, less attachment to things external to us, and live a more humble life, rather than focusing on what some Seneca might call superfluous things. We can train ourselves by limiting our desires, and seeing that certain desires aren't so worthwhile, especially in excess, to have a more humble, frugal life. We shouldn't strive for being destitute, living in squalor, but rather for a middle ground, and being satisfied with little and worrying less. We can think about changes we want to make in order to be more positive, more realistic, work on modifying and eliminating bad habits, work on cultivating a better personality, things which can be under our control. It's an encouraging message here in Stoic philosophy, that by improving mindset and taking action, we can aspire to greatness, that this is something in our control, something possible for everyone. Maybe some will have more difficulties in improving their quality of life due to mental illness, poverty, age, disability, or other factors, but changes can be made, and we can accept that which hinders us while still believing change is possible in some areas. Change might not happen overnight, but progress and realistic goals can indeed be charted. The process starts with being honest with ourselves, having humility, and taking those first steps to make changes. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my website at justinvacula.com. Links are in the video description. Please subscribe, share, comment, and like the video if you find my contribution worthwhile. Watch earlier videos on this channel in which I explore perspectives within Stoic philosophy that can help improve your quality of life. Consider donating if you support my work and would like to see more, for this takes time and effort to produce content. I seek to have more scripted videos like this one and to improve my video quality through using different approaches and learning how to better create YouTube content, although my time can be quite limited given other obligations. Have a great day.